I would like to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
Good evening and happy Wednesday to the pod. Welcome to King Dolphin Television. I am Raymond, the author of the Dolphin Wars series of books and ruler of the best pod in YouTube, and now also a Scottish heir. Welcome, a Scottish lord, sorry. Welcome to the stream. Today, as always, on every Wednesdays, this is interview day. And today we have another interesting interview, this time for Star Wars fans. Tonight we have Jeff Horton, also known as General Atin Kal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Atin
Kal.
Yep.
He is from Outer Rim Praxeum. They are a martial art performance team based on lightsaber forms from Star Wars. But before we get going on this, let's, as always, if you like what we're doing here at the pod, and if you love the interviews and the fun we have over the weekends, please like and subscribe to King Dolphin TV. And also, I am looking for people I can interview. Please send me their names so I can reach out to them, or have them reach out to me. I'm sure my ace wrenches will put my email address out there. Now, let's welcome everybody to the chat. We have the Wrench Team Supreme. We have the first in, last out, Legatus Legionii already, and he's already gathering the Padawans to their proper meeting location. And we have Lenrod, who just noticed that the Dolphin has a lightsaber. He thinks that's awesome. Yes, I got my lightsaber just for this. We have Anti-Derivative Jill. How are you, ma'am? I hope you're doing well. Great stream yesterday. And we have, we have the one, the only, the necessary bear. Snorta Poopas! Q-Bar. Welcome, Snort. And so let us, without further ado, and of course, my producer and the lead wrench, Sandra. Thank you for coming tonight. And we are looking forward to this show. As always, before we get started, hold your questions till the end of my interview. That way, you get time to ask all the questions that you want. And yes, Legatus Legionii says, or is that Pod-a-Wands? Yep, pod humor. And Sandra's putting out the email so that you can have them contact me. All right, so let us start. Hello, General. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. It's pretty nice around my area, so got a nice cool day compared to all the 90-degree days we've had.
Oh my God, yeah. But as usual, it's probably gonna, for this area, it's not gonna be the gentle transition. It's going to be either all or nothing.
Oh, yeah. That's why we have climate control on the ship here.
So true. Oh, we have some others, but I'll welcome you. I'll welcome you now before we get started. Hello, Matt G. And hello, Tyron Beard. To the chat. Okay. And Annette G. All right. So we'll start with the questions. And again, patience, people. Remember, patience is a Jedi attribute. So, let us, yeah. Okay. So, General, please tell us about yourself and what you do outside of this.
Well, like you said, my name is Jeff. In the group, I go by General and Cal. We create our own original characters and everything. So I do play as a Jedi Guardian. It's kind of similar to like Obi-Wan, Anakin. So I've got the blue lightsaber. I've been with the group for over 7 years now. And I've been the president of the group for almost 4 years. Coming down in the fall, I'll be president for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
A fun fact I love to tell is I did get to meet my wife through this group. We have a love-hate relationship where our characters hate each other, but in real life we love each other.
Okay.
And the public may know her as the one known as Lady Malice. She tends to be a fan favorite since she plays a Dathomirian, similar to Darth Maul. Outside of lightsabers and cosplaying, I do some paintball on the side, and love playing video games. So,
Okay. Is the troop your full-time job?
full-time job, as in it takes about the same amount of hours. I don't get paid for this. It's all volunteer based, so we do try and spread out some of the volunteer work and everything to other members. So, but I mean, we have a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. And next one is next question. Okay, so what is well, I'm going to actually flip the questions around. Who started the organization? I take it was not you, but who started it and when?
So I did not start it. You are correct there. But I was the first student to actually stay with the group. A man named Jack, with the help of his friends, put it together from their experience with another lightsaber group. But the person decided to start his own group because he was moving away from the group he was with. So through some friends and everything, they created a new system and moved to Fairmont. And the Praxeum was actually introduced to the public at West Virginia PopCon in 2015. We actually have on our YouTube page some of the video footage from that panel. And after they're revealed to the public, a few days later, I joined. So I've been pretty much with the Praxeum since the public appearance of it. So.
Okay. And you told me that started in 2015.
Yep, August. Towards the end of August of 2015. We actually just celebrated our 7th birthday last week.
Oh, okay. All right. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
So, and what is the purpose of the troop?
The main purpose of the Praxeum is for Star Wars fans and people who just wants to swing a glowing stick around, because that's pretty much what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Around so we can create some movie-style lightsaber fights. The way we do that is through what we call performance martial art. So our fights are largely unchoreographed. The performance aspect comes into play because we do things like spins and jumps. And if you try and do that in a martial art, you're probably going to get your butt kicked. But we see it in the movies. We see it in the cartoons. It looks cool. So that's why we have the martial side of it's unchoreographed. It's competitive. But on the performance side, we're doing spins and jumps and things that at martial art wouldn't really do. The times we do choreograph something is more if it's too complicated to really do,
Hmm.
or for safety reasons, because our number one role is be safe.
Yeah. And where again are you located?
We're located in Fairmont, West Virginia, but we do have members from Morgantown to Clarksburg, and even out towards New Martinsville. So we've got members all over the northern part of West Virginia.
Okay. Is that on the Panhandle or more toward the central part of the state?
Fairmont's in North Central.
Okay. All right. Um, let's see. Let's see here. What styles do you practice? Do you have any forms of it, or are they various forms?
There are various forms. It's our interpretation of the 7 lightsaber forms from the Star Wars universe. Chicho is the first form. It's quite basic, straightforward. Um, we did break down the second form, Makashi. You can see Count Dooku performing Makashi. It's very fencing-like. We broke that down into 6 different forms to help make it a little bit more balanced. The third form is probably one of the most popular forms because of Obi-Wan. It's very defensive. It's not made for attack. Um, Ataru is the fourth form. It's extremely aggressive for the Jedi. You could see Yoda and Qui-Gon using that. It does take a lot of energy for that one. The fifth form is, I would say, the most recognizable. And there's actually 2 forms underneath Form 5. Shien is the one that you see with like the slashing. You'll see him moving back and forth, deflecting the blaster fire and everything. Whereas Gemso is similar, where you do kind of slash and everything, but it's made for saber combat. Anakin, you can see him doing in the Clone Wars TV series. You can really see him doing Shien and then transitioning to Gemso. And Vader is definitely a Gemso user. So great way to see it in the movies. Form 6 is more geared towards uh, double-bladed lightsabers. So Darth Maul is a good practitioner of Nimin. And then Form 7, there's also 2 parts to it. Form 7 is Juyo, highly aggressive. It uses a lot of emotion. And then on the other side, there's Vapad, which was created by Mace Windu to help deflect the emotion and the aggression of the opponent. And in our system, we do have only select forms that Jedis get and select forms that the Sith get. So that way, everyone kind of looks a little bit different. You can tell just from a fighting style if they're Jedi, if they're Sith. So it helps distinguish the difference between the Jedi and the Sith.
Okay. So those are the various forms.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Guys, can you hear me okay? I just have a
I can hear you.
I know you can hear me. I just want to make sure the chat can hear me. Give me a second here. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, somehow it went into mute. Okay. All right. Where all have you performed? What areas have you performed at?
Oh man, that's a loaded question right there, because we've been all over the state. We actually just hit 100 events this past July. Yeah, COVID kind of slowed us down, but we still pushed through that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been to West Virginia PopCon, up in Morgantown. Mountaineer Con was also in Morgantown. We've been down in Lewisburg for the West Virginia Ren Fair when they did a time traveler weekend. We were down in Kazakon and Beckley for a great con down there. A nice charity con. We've been at HerdCon with Marshall University and Huntington. JediCon is over in New Martinsville, so we're hitting the western side of the state. The YWCA MiniCon is up in Wheeling, so we're hitting the northern panhandle. And we're finally able to get over into the eastern panhandle this year in Martinsburg, where I got to meet you.
Yes.
So those are the places we've hit in West Virginia. We've also been outside of the state. So we've been in Athens, Ohio for Rathacon. We've been also in Pennsylvania twice. There was Slippery Rock Con, and that helps raise money for the Slippery Rock Library. And then Waynesburg for the Toy and Comic Expo.
Okay.
So, and we're looking at even expanding farther. But since the group is volunteer based and everything comes out of pocket, we're a little bit more picky the farther you get away from Fairmont.
True. And that leads to the next question. How many are in your troupe?
We're at 16 strong right now. We are opening up recruitment here shortly. So we've been doing what we call open houses where members of the public can come and try it out. They learn how to fight with a lightsaber. We've got these pull noodle sabers, and kids can even come and join and check it out. So it's been exciting. We've had a lot of kids really enjoy it. You do have to be 16 or older to join. So
okay,
if you're interested, come check us out, or if you're not in the area, we can help you find a group. There's so many different groups.
Okay. Do you provide any education to the public at all?
Just how to fight with a lightsaber. Other than that, we have taught some kids the Jedi Code. We've done a few workshops with libraries or daycares of like, okay, we're going to have to learn how to fight with a lightsaber, or, to be a Jedi, you're going to have to learn the Jedi Code. And then they get a certificate saying they've completed the Jedi training.
Okay. And then, let's see. Now, at this time, you are an independent club. Are you affiliated, or have you considered affiliating?
So we are independent, just because we're not Lucasfilm recognized. That's the biggest difference between us and like the 501st Saber Guild, is they're recognized. When you are recognized, you do have to follow their rules and guidelines, but you also get a lot of perks. As a lot of people know, 501st got to be in The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't get that opportunity. So there's definitely some pros and cons for being Lucasfilm recognized. We decided not to, so that way we can have the unchoreographed dueling. Whereas if you are recognized, you do have to be choreographed. We have worked with other lightsaber groups, independent ones, and we actually will be in a tournament coming up in 2 weeks with 3 other lightsaber groups. And then over at West Virginia PopCon, we actually did a joint demonstration with Bridgeport ATA, a martial art group down here that was at the same con as we were. So we do get a little bit more flexibility with that. So that's why we've stayed independent so far.
Okay. All right. And I also saw that you do some charitable work. Can you tell me about that?
Of course. So we love Star Wars. I mean, there's a lot of people that love Star Wars and everything. And we wanted to give back to the community. So that's why we work with libraries to put on shows and workshops in the area. And a lot of it's to raise money for West Virginia Children's Hospital. That's been our main charity charity that we've collect funds for and then give to them. These are more of our secondary purpose. As I talked about, the first purpose is learning how to duel, because without the dueling, there's no show. So we have that as the main goal. Second goal is to raise money because we love doing local charity. And if you're going to be part of a community, you should give back to the community. So it's always good to support the local charities and everything.
Of course. Of course. All right. So before I open up to the chat, I know you've got some videos that you want to share.
I do.
Let us watch these videos. All right.
All right. Let me pull them up here. There's definitely a lot of videos that we've got. I'm a little biased because I think the best video is the first duel between me and my wife, because we had a lightsaber wedding. So we took our skills, instead of a first dance, we did a first duel. Or there was also West Virginia PopCon 2019 tournament encore part 2, but it was because that's where I proposed to my wife in the middle of a duel. She took out my leg and I took a knee.
Nice.
If you want to see quick dueling, Praxeum or Bridge series on our YouTube series is the best one to go. If you want to see what we currently look like, Blade Match Season 4 videos are where it's looking the best. And I've got one of the Blade Match Season 4s here.
Okay.
Should be queuing up right now.
Legatus Legion, I put some of your intro as well as your link tree. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Legatus. Link tree is an amazing thing. I've been using it too.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
For the apprentice! And who's rooting for the master of malice?
That was a quick one.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
That was just a code opening. So here we can explain what the match style is.
So we're going to bring out the lesser one, the apprentice. You can see him. He might not be able to see you. But give it up for Diablo Crava. Woo-hoo!
Yes, he does fight with a blindfold.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
That's why I can't say it's the best or the worst. She is my rival, a thorn in my side. Let's see if she can still hold the title of master over her apprentice. Give it up for Lady Malice!
You know what you did.
Yeah.
Something new we introduced was having character intros.
Yeah, it sounds like a wrestling. Sounds like a wrestling match.
We are trying to do like a lightsaber WWE, essentially, where there's definitely like that show, but it's still unchoreographed.
Lady Malice!
Malice!
Diablo! Begin! Jedi! Run fight!
You got her, Diablo.
I'm so tired of always being in your shadow!
Get good! Ah!
Is that Lady Malice? Oh, Diablo takes the first round!
Who's
It's looking
judging?
like Diablo got good.
I'm
Getting an
actually
early
the
victory.
judge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since I wasn't in the
It's a
fight.
lightsaber when you've got the Force.
Nice!
Suffer! Like other Sith Lords, you don't always need the blade. Cool. That one was kind of close. Next time, maybe get more leg and less claw. Ooh!
Whoa.
Who's rooting for the apprentice? And who's rooting for the master of malice? Let's see if Lady Malice is quick enough. You know, always he puts me through everything. Tired. Yeah! Yeah! Whoa! Red card! What? No throwing in the judges!
So that part there, I will admit, was choreographed.
Better man now, watch out!
We do try and make it
I'm
a little bit more entertaining for the audience too.
though. Alright, ready up and ignite!
That's 2 out of 3.
This one is best 3 out of 5.
Nice!
Suffering. And begin! Is that all you have to teach me?
It's all you're worthy of learning. I have other apprentices. I can replace you.
Yeah, but none of them will be as strong and powerful as I am.
We'll see.
A lot of the dialogue is improvised. We do teach a little bit of improv. So they decided on a Master Apprentice storyline. And from there, a lot of the comments and everything is just off the top of the head.
Okay, Lady Malice takes round 3. Happens in round 4. Ready up and ignite. The score is 2 for Diablo, 1 for Lady Malice.
Nice!
Suffering. Begin.
Diablo is really proving to be a challenge for his master, though. Who thinks Diablo still has it?
So many misses. I taught you better than that.
You should be doing better now because of that cheat.
The double tap. Always make sure your opponent is dead.
Ain't got a place, Diablo. Kill him for his excellence, master. Oh! Yeah. Lady Malice came in quick. Threw him off. And taking round 4. Give it up for Lady Malice.
Uh-oh.
You can't ever count someone out just because they get an early lead.
Nice!
Suffering. Begin.
Are you suffering because of the malice?
Or suffering from the heat.
Dathomirians like a warm climate.
But does your apprentice like it?
No!
Why am I trying to fake out a blind man?
I mean, he seems to be blocking you.
It's because of all the heat. It's one of the few things I can see. It's radiating off of her everywhere.
After those last 2 rounds, it seems like she's on fire.
Are you ready to die?
Who's rooting for the master, Lady Malice?
Oh!
I taught you that trick.
It seems like in round 5, Lady Malice remains as the
Kneel.
master.
Remember your place.
Yes, master.
If you kill it now, you won't have to worry about him later.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. There are some questions. Let's get some questions in here. And we can go to the other video. Okay. All right. Legatus asks, do you have tournaments like the Society of Creative Acronism?
I'm not familiar with the society. We do have tournaments. We've done usually local tournaments, so it'll be just at that one event. But this year we're doing a little bit differently. So we've been doing a year-long tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see our rankings.
Okay.
And on YouTube, we'll have our blade matches. So that was from season 4. We're in season 4 of blade matches. So currently, I'm in the lead in the rankings. So if you win, you go up. You lose, you go down.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at the final tournament bracket coming up here soon that we're planning on doing a Facebook live stream on. So definitely you want to hop on our Facebook Live for that.
Okay. Now, on this, but do you have like certain rules that you have to abide by? Like I heard in the background, no force choking during a match.
Yeah. So each class, like a RPG, has force powers. We call them pretty much our wild cards because it helps shake up a duel. Helps to make sure it's just not sabers going back and forth, throws in a little bit there. Helps to create the immersion effect too, because, well, you saw a first grip, you see a force push. A lot of people recognize those from the movies. So there are some rules. There's also places where you can and can't hit. So, for example, your forearm, if that gets hit, it's not a valid kill. Just so that way people aren't going for the fingers. We want to try and protect your hands. Hands are easy to get broken if someone's intentionally swinging after them. So we just said, hey, if you hit here, it's not a valid kill. It helps reduce how people aim for more of the shoulders, the head, the torso. Each form has their own rules as well. So at the very end, you saw Diablo Crava just suddenly stop. He was trying to get his opponent to run into his blade. So that's, I believe he was doing Makashi 3, which is our stabbing form. You can see Palpatine doing that one. So if you hit the tip, well, you're dead. A lot of the other forms you have to hit on more of the edge of the blade. So there are various rules, and that's why like we put the rule card up at the front of each video, because we'll sometimes do a martial one. We've been doing one called Beat the Clock, where you're also going for 2 minutes trying to see how many strikes you get in that 2 minutes.
Okay.
So
Legatus asks, so it's not a requirement that Sith only use only red lightsabers.
In our system, you do need to use a red lightsaber. They were probably white in the show just because the daylight kind of blinds out the red. The LEDs just aren't powerful enough to compete against the sun, and we're kind of restricted by the con time frame. But we do sometimes, some of our members use what's called day blades, so they're already colored. Trying to see if I have one next to me. I do not. But here's like a green day blade here. There you go. So it doesn't need the LED to work with it.
How hard
Help
are
out,
they?
but since they're an extra expense for a lot of our members. These blades we call Ultra Sabers is where we get our blades from. They're a mid-grade. Try and hold it up to the camera a little bit. So they're not super thick. Heavy grade ones are more for if you're really hitting. So a group called the Saber Legion uses them, but they're also wearing the padding. So I know some other groups tend to use it with or without padding. In our system, we don't allow it just to help reduce any safety issues. Mid-grade, it's got some give to it, but it's also still strong enough to take the hits and everything as you saw in the video. And if you slow it down, you can actually see them kind of bending on some of the strikes. So it's got a little bit of flex. But we do practice control. That's one of the big things, is to make sure when you do hit your opponent, it's more like someone just flicked you instead of someone clocked you.
Okay, so if you're not careful, they could cause some serious pain.
Yes.
Okay.
I have talked to some people. Some people getting a nice little goose egg on their head. I've talked to some people, they've had broken fingers.
Ouch.
If they're not careful. One of the things it's hard to control is we try and make sure our environment that we're dueling in is kind of clean, because loose gravel, your foot could just go whoop right underneath you.
So you want more of an asphalt or
Yeah.
All right, and Legatus asks, so it's more like a club than a nonprofit.
Yes, we do consider ourselves a not-for-profit, just because there is a legal definition for nonprofit and legal status behind nonprofit. We don't have any kind of legal status or anything. So we are a club, but we consider ourselves not-for-profit because any money we do get goes straight to the charity. We don't take a dime. Everything we have is donated from members. So from the camera to your own lightsaber, we've got a banner. If you see us at a convention, you can see a lot of the props, and we give away kyber crystals. All of those are donated by members. So it is definitely driven by the members.
Okay. Lenrod asks, what's your favorite lightsaber color?
I would have to go with black because of the dark saber. After that, then blue with Obi-Wan. The dark saber is my favorite lightsaber.
Okay. And he also comments, more people need to follow the Jedi code. Too many Sith in control these days. Okay. Let's see. Keep going. Oh, Jill says, that was really sweet, General.
Thank you.
Okay. Legatus asks, did the group get inspiration from medieval times when it comes to these introductions and duels?
I'm gonna probably say no. We have been looking at some WWE stuff for like the promos, the intros aspect. The system was interpreted from Star Wars. If you want to get down into the roots of where lightsaber combat came from, then George Lucas did heavily look at samurais and kendo. Kendo was definitely a huge factor into lightsaber fighting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There was a ESPN episode that was hosted by Mark Hamill with the release of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, where they talk about the evolution of lightsaber combat. I highly recommend it. It might still be on YouTube, but they talk. Mark Hamill talks about his experience from episode 4, 5, and 6 of how it became more intense, more fast, and everything, and then how in episode 1, 2, and 3 it introduced more choreographed, more CGI with like Yoda. Count Dooku's doing more of a fencing style. So it definitely goes into like how it evolved from just yes, kendo. How do we make it better though? How do we make it more show?
Okay. I'm just going to catch up with questions and we'll go to another video. Do they get points for the taunts during these duels?
In some variations of blade matches, yes. They were doing a martial one, so it's all about who gets the first kill, gets the point. We do have one called binary, where you are judged by your performance. You're judged by other categories as well, so it's either yes, you did it, yes, or no, you didn't. You get the point. And then we do have one. We haven't done a traditional blade match that really focuses on our entire system and everything we teach in a while, just because that one is one of our more extensive scoring systems. So you get graded on a 0 to 10 on how well you do per round. And that requires multiple judges. And currently we don't have enough people trained to be a judge to effectively do a traditional blade match. So that one's been on the back burner for a while, but we're looking at eventually bringing that one back, because you have to do things like promos. You have to wear your cosplay. You need to make sure you are doing a good performance. Your defense is good. Your attack's good, and several other categories too.
Okay, I like this from Lenrod, and then Darth Vader shows up with the folding chair. Yeah.
We have joked about throwing in the folding chair.
Yeah. Wayside Iguana says we learn lots of improv. Welcome.
Wayside. That is one of my members right there, Thandu. He's got a few blade matches that you can check him out on.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
You definitely need to learn improv, because what happens when you drop your lightsaber? Well, you got to figure out what to do now.
Yeah. Pierre Kelly wishes lightsabers were actually real. Yeah.
Have to be careful with that wish, because you might chop a hand off.
Yeah. Legata says Conan Barbarian loved to do the stab with his long sword instead of the wide slashing move.
It can definitely be an effective tactic, since you've got something coming straight at you now, and then you have to deflect it or get away from it.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hello, doggy. Does high ground actually have a winning advantage?
I think my dog disagrees with it. I know in combat it usually does, but we try and make sure our fighting area is nice and level for safety purposes. So from practice, I'm not sure, but you do have to be careful, because you're exposing more of your foot, but you get more of a head strike that you can reach for.
Okay. So you're looking more toward the tactical level of the combat instead of maybe big picture strategic.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
But for Kenobi, if he's got the high ground,
of
course he's always going to win. Even if you have the high ground, he was born in it.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the next. David Lester says, do you enjoy interacting with other Star Wars cosplay while at cons?
Oh, yeah. We love taking photos with them. Love talking Star Wars with them. It's definitely an easy way of going, hey, that's a Star Wars fan. We've got something in common. At CosAcon, we did do a Star Wars meetup, so we had people in different cosplays come out and take photos with us. It's just like its own community, so it's always fun interacting. You've got the 501st, Rebel Legion, Mando Mercs are three of the biggest. Then you also have Saber Guild that's also cosplaying and Lucasfilm recognized. I believe it's the Dark Temple. I could be wrong about that one, but that's also considered part of the, I believe it's the Big Five of the Star Wars cosplay community. So, I mean, they're always great bunches of people. They love talking about Star Wars, helping interact with kids, and just helping the next generation get into Star Wars. So it's always fun meeting people in Star Wars cosplays.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Legata says a kill, as in a hit on your opponent. In the society anachronism, a hit means you can't use that body part for the duration of the fight. That's actually a good question. What? No, if you're following the concept of a lightsaber, in which, you hit, the lightsaber is going to cause injury. What happens with a hit in your thing? Can they use that part again, or?
We can, because we have Bacta on hand. So that way you can just slap it on and heal yourself real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You can still use it in the fight and everything, just so that way you can keep the intensity going for the full fight. And that's why we have multiple rounds. So that way, as you saw in the Martial one with Diablo Crava and Lady Malice, once a hit happened, that round's done.
Okay.
We move on. We go to the second round. So it's kind of like a refresh. And Beat the Clock, you're just trying to get as many strikes on them. So you're just trying to get that high score and everything. So it depends on the system. Sometimes we'll have a fatality at the very end of the fight of, all right, Lady Malice chose not to use a fatality to backstab her apprentice and then walk away.
Okay. So before a particular joust, do you determine how many strikes are a kill, or is one center strike with the lightsaber a kill and ending the match or ending the round? Is there prior discussion on wrestling?
In our system, for all the advanced units, everything from the elbow up and the rest of the body is a strike zone. So if you get hit in the arm, depending on which blade match style we're doing, and the Martial, the fight's done. You were hit there. It was a valid hit. All right, that round's done. You were killed.
Okay.
For that round. In Beat the Clock, if you get hit, you just acknowledge it, and then go after your opponent to try and get a point, so that way you two can stay neck and neck. So there isn't like, oh, you have to hit the chest, or you have to hit this part for a fight.
Okay. With all this stabbing talk, I'm glad personal force fields are a thing. They are a thing now, right? From Phantom Insider.
Our Sith assassins have a barrier that they can create. Depending on the blade match style, they can only do it once per fight or once per round. And once they say barrier, they're in a nice little bubble. A lightsaber can't get through it, and most of the other force powers can't get through it either. So that is the personal force field that we would have.
Okay. And then Phantom Outsider also says, remember in Return of the Jedi when Luke took the high ground, Vader said, Obi-Wan has taught you well.
Yep, and Vader finally figured out how to deal with that high ground. Just throw your lightsaber.
Yeah, the lightsaber. All right, let us go to the next video.
This is a nice slow-mo one so that we can really see our
I don't care if I'm not good.
watch the amazing kills happen, but we keep going.
I'm muting it because of possible copyright issues.
True.
But I love the music.
Yeah, it was very fitting for this fight.
Yeah, but
we have switched away from copyright. We have switched over to copyright-free music because we definitely had that concern later on.
Yeah. All right, that I love that night fighting.
Yeah, we love doing it at night.
Okay, let's see. Hello, doggy. Yeah, let's see. And of course, we're talking about food over here. Let's see. Hello, Andy Masterson, Wayside Iguana, David Lester, James Caserta, and Phantom Outsider. Thank you all for coming. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta say, do you find the audience enjoys the darker setting where the glow of the lightsabers are more clearly seen, or where they can more clearly see the combatants?
Probably see more of the combatants. A lot of our shows tend to be in daylight just because of the cons and events that we're at are usually during the day. So we don't get to fight in the dark that often, sadly. We do try and turn off the lights if we can at a convention to help with the lightsaber effects and everything. So that's one of the reasons why some of us use the day blades, is to help combat not being able to really turn on our lightsabers.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. And when it comes to the more energetic fights, did you enjoy the re-imaged SC-38 when it came out? I'm not sure what he means. Is that a form of saber?
I'm not quite sure either.
Legatus, you wanna elaborate on this more? And okay. Yeah, because I don't know what you mean. Wenrod says having the saber shining really adds to the atmosphere.
It does.
Yeah.
I think he is talking about the fan remake of the Vader versus Kenobi fight from Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's the SC-38 reimage.
Oh, okay.
Definitely added for that one. It definitely added a lot of intensity to the fight.
Okay.
I feel like you have to be somewhat careful with reimagining some fights too, because especially after Obi-Wan Kenobi came out. There's a reason other than like it's the first Star Wars film of why Vader might be cautiously approaching Obi-Wan and things like that. So I always enjoy a good fan film, though.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. FX in post recreated the Vader Obi-Wan fight on the Death Star. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I think that's all the questions, so we can go to the next one. You want to give us a little backstory on this one, or just go for it?
This one is just more of a snippet from one of our fights at Kazakhstan, and it was a little bit more, had a performance bit in it, so that's why it's called Cheap Trick.
Okay.
Begin.
See here, we were able to turn off the lights for this one.
Not for long.
This looks like it's at a school.
The Beckley Convention Center.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys ready for this? Yeah. Who's ready for it?
So interesting.
Audience. This kind of flesh, right?
I would say that's cheating.
Horse race. And of course we include horse fairs.
So that's your wife, you're jousting.
Yep.
Let's see. The goddess asks, have you ever thought about having a live Foley artist doing the sound effects? I guess with the woom, woom, woom.
We haven't yet. Mostly because a lot of us aren't talented video artists, video editors, so we haven't gotten into the sound effects or the coloring of the blade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of our eventual goals, is have someone to be able to do that, though.
Okay, and the goddess says that was an Indiana Jones move.
Got to use pop culture to your advantage sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have a good night, Kyron. Let's see. Guys, any other questions? Okay, here's one. Star Wars fan EU, have you used any moves from the Disney trilogy into the show instructions?
It's definitely a Star Wars fan. One of mine and my wife's rules for our house is each room has to have a fan art or a picture, painting or something of Boba Fett and Darth Maul, because those are our favorite characters. So I did get to meet Jeremy Bullock, the original Boba Fett, and we did get to meet Ray Park.
Oh, wow.
Really awesome, yeah. So loved it. The extended universe. I haven't read very many of the books, but I did enjoy the video games. Loved some of the comics as well. With the Disney trilogy, loved it as well because it brought Star Wars back to the big screen and now the little screen too. I do a history of lightsaber combat panel, so I did have to do some research behind how they decided what lightsaber forms they were using in the Disney trilogy, and it was really cool. I highly recommend doing a little research and everything, because there's definitely a difference between I might say her name wrong, Daisy Ridley training and for her fight sequences, and then there's Adam Driver, who's just Kylo Ren all the time, even in training. He's just got a stone cold face on him, and it was fantastic to see. It was like the intensity level went up. One of the things JJ wanted to bring back with the Disney was more of the raw and grittiness of the original trilogy. And I feel like something we also need to remember is there aren't a temple full of Jedi Masters training a whole bunch of students on how to lightsaber fight now. So that's the big difference between the pre-sequel with 1, 2, and 3, where there is a Jedi temple teaching, okay, this is how you fight with a lightsaber, versus the Disney trilogy where you probably had to learn from a book. Because even like Luke Skywalker, yeah, he might have learned some of it from Yoda, but Yoda's also kind of old. So there's only so much Yoda can teach to. He can't quite do the jumps and flips as he used to do. So, and you can definitely see like the raw energy, the raw emotion in the fights too. And it was cool being able to like, hey, I know that form. I know that form too.
Have any of your troop built a Inquisitor style a la Rebels?
We do have one member that has one. It's not allowed in our system.
Oh.
We're very particular on what kind of hilts are brought in. So I've actually brought a lightsaber hilt. As you can see, there's no frail or anything. It's very straightforward, nice and smooth. And that's because it's for the safety. Because chances are you might punch this. And if it's got like a claw on it or a lip on it, good chance you might cut yourself. You might bust a knuckle. And we're wanting to avoid that.
Okay.
So in our system, you do have to have the simple lightsaber for fighting. If you want to carry a fancy one on like your belt or something for show, we'll still allow that. But for fighting, you got to have a nice simple lightsaber.
Okay. Let's see. David Lester asks, do you have any plans to expand either with a larger footprint, member groups, or organizing into a nonprofit / business?
Great question. We're always looking to expand. So we are still growing our core membership here. And you mind bringing that question up that way, since there was multiple parts?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
All good. And we're looking to try and travel to eventually bigger cons and everything, but also try and stay located here, try and make sure we're still going to our cons that have helped us grow, because we don't want to up and leave them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to get that membership up, so that way we can have like, all right, team 1, you're going to this big con over here in Philadelphia. Team 2, you're going down to the smaller con down in this other city in West Virginia and everything. So that way we can still work with the events that have helped us grow our fans and everything, but still find a new audience and expand our reach. We have talked about going into a nonprofit. The main issue we were stumbling upon with that is we do use trademark words. So lightsaber, Jedi, Sith, etc. are trademarked. So to gain a legal status, either we need to be Lucasfilm recognized, or we'll have to drop those terms and everything. So that way we can get a legal standing with the state. So that's why we consider ourselves a not-for-profit, because there is no legal status with that phrase. It's more of a descriptive phrase. And we like using the trademark terms, and that's why we do be cautious about the events that we do, the public image that we do, and that's another reason why we do make sure that we're doing a charitable cause, so that way we're being a positive image in the spotlight.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Derek Clark. Welcome. Let's see. If one declares a form that they're going to use in a tournament combat, do they get a penalty if they alter their form? That's a good question.
Great question. Yeah, it is a really good question. So in our system, depending on what class you are, because you have the two different factions, you have Jedi and Sith, but then each one has their own different classes. So for example, a Jedi Martyr is kind of based off Mace Windu. So they're super aggressive, not quite defensive. A Jedi Guardian is very much like Obi-Wan, Anakin. They're a mix of both, and so on and so forth. So it's similar to an RPG where each class has its like own perks and everything. Each class gets to pick multiple forms. So that way your fighting style changes and everything. But on the flip side of that, to balance that out, you're also gonna, the more forms you get, the less strong force powers that you get. So you saw Diablo Crava be able to do a grip and a choke with it, but he can only choose 3 lightsaber forms. With his master, she's more of an assassin type, so she's able to choose 4 lightsaber forms, but she doesn't get the grip aspect, so she can't get that like nice instant kill that Diablo Crava can.
Okay.
So it is definitely an entwined system, because we have to balance out the aggression, who's going to start the attack, how many forms someone's going to get, and then what kind of force powers each person gets. But I feel like we've got a somewhat balanced system that is always improving too.
Okay. Everybody wants to be Darth Vader.
Fun fact, I actually got to play Darth Vader once.
Oh.
A park near us that we practiced at in Fairmont was doing a video showing of one of the Star Wars movies for their movie in the park nights. So he went out and rented a Darth Vader costume, and I got to wear it. It is hot. I don't recommend it. I was in air conditioning when I was putting it on, and I was already sweating. And that was before the helmet was even on. You can't really see. So if you do watch the video, you'll actually see me step into, they had a cable trench open, and I didn't realize it was open. And you can actually see me bob down and up, because I didn't see it, but luckily my foot just went down and I popped up and I didn't fall. I'm contributing that to the Force.
Okay. Derek Clark, welcome. Back against the wall, chips are down, hopes are getting slim. Which lightsaber form are you using to claim victory?
I would have to use Suresu. Suresu is definitely pretty much creating like a wall. It's one of the reasons why Mace Windu and the Jedi Council sent Obi-Wan Kenobi to go after Grievous, is because of Suresu's defensiveness. And essentially the plan is to wear down my opponent, hiding behind a lightsaber wall. So That's definitely the form I would choose.
Okay.
I barely have to do a movement, and I'm already blocking you.
Okay. All right.
Good question. I like it.
When your group meets up for training, is it at a rented space, regularly scheduled, weekend/evening?
It's regularly scheduled. We try and practice twice a week. We try and look for free locations, so that's why we practice in parks mostly. The days tend to vary depending on everyone's schedules. We try and keep it kind of consistent. But we do practice in the evenings. Most of us work in the mornings or afternoons. But we also try and do one during the weekday and one on the weekend, just because we know some people, they work evenings in the weekdays, then they can't come. So that's why we have a weekend, and vice versa. So we try and find free locations. We have done paid ones, and people will just all kind of contribute to pay for a rented location. That's usually more towards the winter.
Mhm.
So if there's any free locations in the winter that want to host us, would definitely appreciate it.
Okay. Let's see. Lenrod says, "Nah, I'd be dark helmet. Though I'm probably too tall to pull it off. Dark. Use the Vader helmet from Spaceballs and use the Schwartz."
You can have a one-bedroom apartment in that helmet.
That's so true. You got another video?
I can definitely find one here.
John asks, while you're looking, are the lightsabers balanced for better control?
That's one of the reasons we actually do mid-grade. So that way the weight is more in the hilt. With a heavy grade, it's definitely, you feel the difference. So then your balance point, try to get it frame. There we go. Your balance point should be right about here, right near the emitter, give or take an inch. With the heavy grade, you're aiming for a balance point like way out here. Some of the newer lightsabers, they're even lighter. I haven't got to fight with some of the newer ones that are coming out. So we do advise caution of switching lightsaber hilts, because you want to make sure you're familiar with the hilt that you've been training in. So going from one to another can really throw people off.
Okay. Let's see. John Lagana says, if you practice at a public space or park, do you get a lot of spectators or questions?
Sometimes we definitely encourage fans or people that are curious to come up and talk to us. I'll definitely talk with you. It's always a fun time describing what's happening, and then I'll make the members do a quick demo for you and everything. We've had kids come up. We've had cops come and watch, and they all enjoy it. I mean, it's hard not to enjoy a lightsaber fight.
And you use the actual when you do your training sessions, you actually use what lightsabers you're going to be dueling in.
Yeah.
On a performance.
That way you're getting used to it, because you should be comfortable with what you're planning on fighting with. So it's definitely that familiarity that we're wanting to go with.
Okay. Let's see. What are you looking for? A video? I'm trying to. Okay. John Randall asks, I came in late, so you may have talked about this, but do you start out with traditional fencing techniques with footwork, for example, and blade control?
With when you first start, we do teach the first form, Chicho, It's very basic, so it's not quite fencing. It is a kata of its own. I would say the strikes are similar to kendo because it's very much you're starting above the head and they're coming out for a nice arm strike, coming straight down for a nice head strike. With every strike you're doing, you're taking a step. The control, we usually partner you up with someone else, and they're told, hey, if your partner hits you hard, tell them to reset. If they miss, tell them to reset, because we want to make sure we're practicing actually hitting your opponent. And I'll yell at some people of like, you need to go faster, you need to go faster, because when you're starting off, yeah, you're going to go slow. We encourage you going slow. As you progress through our ranks, you should be getting faster. So there's definitely a difference between when you're watching a rank 5 in our system, where you've become a master, compared to rank 3 is where we start allowing people to publicly perform, because they're still kind of in the basic rules and everything.
Okay. I was going to ask this. This kind of ties into that one question. How in shape do you guys have to be? I'm looking, and out of the 3, you're looking pretty in shape, svelte type.
So with being in shape, you don't have to be like athletic, like, oh, I've done cross country, I've done 5Ks. I don't do 5Ks. I have seen larger people do the same thing. They just choose different lightsaber forms, so they're probably not going to do the jumps and spins. That doesn't make them any less deadly, though.
Mm-hmm.
The jumps and spins are definitely more for flash, so I like doing them. So, and Diablo Crava's one of our older members, but you could see the intensity. He's not slowing down for us. He's keeping up right with us. We've got members that are 18, 19, all the way up. So you don't have to be super athletic. As long as you can go for a walk and not be winded, you'll be fine.
Okay. That counts me out. Okay. Here's another video, guys. And I think I recognize the venue. Is this Martinsburg?
Should be, yeah. Hopefully I uploaded the right video.
I need folks all my attention on killing you now.
Another right.
My biggest rivals. She's quite the thorn in my side. Always coming in at my heels. Give it up for Lady Malice. Louder! Don't give me that death clear. I'm not in this fight.
Are you the announcer, or are you going to be fighting?
All right. For her combatant, we're going to see
For this fight, I was the MC
if he's got the fight.
and judge.
If he's got the bark. If he's got the howl for it. Give it up for Darth Curl Akami.
There we go.
You just get no music.
Oh,
There we go.
There you can see a nice difference between a day blade and one of our regular blades.
I'm gonna
Everybody ready?
I'm gonna mute it because I'm gonna mute it just with the background music.
I can say the background music is copyright free because this is where we had started with copyright free music.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
Yep.
cute that you think this crowd is going to cheer for you.
You gotta cheer for somebody. Can't cheer for a loser. Just saying.
That's a lot of talk when this fight hasn't even started yet.
I can back it up. Who trained you, by the way?
Who got stabbed in the back last time?
That was just an error in the force. You and your visibility.
All right, remember, this is best 3 out of 5.
Make it entertaining.
Ignite!
Mouse!
Tenacity.
Begin!
What are you trying to circle me for? Try to get behind me again? I don't have the close.
It's an easy target.
No, it's not. Oh, it's got the leg there. Better watch out.
Who's cheering for Lady Malice? Go, Master. Get our defense out up. Looks like it is.
Did that hurt?
Who's giving it up for Darth Kurakami?
So close.
So many misses.
Looks like Darth Kurakami is coming up short.
So what? I just stopped.
Are you so tired already?
I'm tired of your lip. You got me there.
Man, this fight is just dragging out.
Got me.
Looks like Lady Malice takes round 1.
Well, there's no time on these. There's no time. It's just.
All right, we're going into round 2.
Yep.
It's short enough.
it goes until someone gets a kill.
Rug for the bedroom back home.
You know how I hate words? Just come at me.
Salute.
Oh, so sick and tired.
Now!
Getting angry. Tenacity.
Begin.
Should have killed me while you had the chance.
What's the build-up?
Is Lady Malice's defense gonna hold up? Give her the cheers if you think it will.
Watch back up. Just run into my blade.
Do you think Darth Kurakami's gonna get the kill? Give him the cheers if you think he is.
Why didn't you just let me kill you already? So sick and tired.
But that would just encourage you.
How encouraging.
Oh, and Darth Kurakami takes it for round 2. All right, combatants. Salute.
Yeah.
Tenacity. And begin.
And I remember
Don't
these
try
things.
to talk.
It was
We don't know
hot.
you're too tired.
How you guys were.
Luckily, we were in the morning,
Oh, okay.
so it didn't get too bad just yet. But it was still hot, yeah.
Let's go, Master. You got this. way. Darth Kurakami's coming in strong. Is it strong enough though?
Okay, last time. You got no whip. It looks like Lady Malice has great reflexes today.
Lady Malice's defense is holding strong. And Darth Kurakami still holds strong too.
Don't look where you're striking. Didn't I tell you that? Long time ago. Like what?
And round 3 goes to Darth Kurakami.
Oh, this is a 3 out of 5.
Salute!
Yep.
Prez, hand me your saber.
Our advanced students do 3 out of 5. If you're ranked 3, then you do
That's just not fair.
that's 2 out of 3.
Well, nothing gets rules say I can't do will.
Looks like Darth
Whoa.
Kurakami's bringing out the big guns. Bringing his biggest spark to this fight. Tenacity!
No.
Begin!
Yeah.
Well, that didn't.
Alright, we're gonna take a quick reset. Let them fix their blades there.
This is why we got improv.
I meant to do that.
That's how you work in an extra break. Alright, and begin!
You ready now? I'm getting bored and tired. I told you she had a few more tricks up her sleeve.
I definitely didn't see that one coming.
Oh.
Time to force choke him.
Oh, that's close. That's so close. Taste it.
Who do you think
Oh, she
is
had an
gonna
open
win?
shot.
No, you can't take that. Over there.
Alright, we got someone cheering for Lady Malice. Who's cheering for Lady Malice? Oh, looks like those cheers paid off. And Lady Malice takes the victory in round 2 or 4. Alright, we're going into round 5. They're going all the way. Salute! Remember, let them know who you're cheering
Tenacity.
for. As we saw in round 4, the cheers help. Begin!
You got this, Darth Kurakami. You're afraid. I can see it in your eyes. You don't think you can
He
win?
is a trash talker.
Just exhausted. Trying to do your lip.
You're cheering for Lady Malice, let her know. And if you're cheering for Darth Kurakami, give him a howl.
Cheer for myself.
Barrier.
Oh no, looks like it didn't put in a kettle.
Uh-oh.
Lady Malice decided the dog needed to hold up and put him in a barrier.
I don't think he's quite potty trained. Back up.
Force our left leg. Even I can see the anger that was on his face.
Oh yeah. Was that a hit?
Yep.
Lady Malice takes the victory.
Whoa.
I'll miss you, but not really.
It looks like this dog was put down. Give it up for Lady Malice and Darth Kurakami!
As you can see, they were quite exhausted.
Yeah. Why didn't you bring her on to the interview here? Was she?
She's actually our team captain for our our tournament team.
Ah. Gotcha. All right. Okay. I think we're going to run a few more questions, and it's getting close to wrap-up time. Let's see. Okay, making sure I didn't miss anything. That was a good match, and I think I caught a little bit of it, but I was still doing my signings.
Yeah.
Let's see. Legatus ass practices are in sweats t-shirts. Have you also had ones where you practice in costumes to get used to the weight movement restrictions?
Yes. To get your outfit approved, you do have to wear it for a practice just to make sure things aren't shifting, things aren't falling off, that you can actually put your hands above your head and swing about. So that is part of the requirements to get your outfit approved, is to make sure that you can actually fight in it, because you don't want a wardrobe malfunction in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
I've had my Jedi tabards ripped off before because a lightsaber hooked it, and you just have to go with that too. So,
okay. Let's see. Oh, this is a good question. So far, it's been 1-on-1, but have you ever done 2-on-1, such as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul?
we do have a 2v1 training system, just because of that. Since it happened in the movies, we got to learn how to do it. So we do have rules for that. We haven't had a blade match in a 2v1. At West Virginia PopCon, we did do a 2v2. It was our first time ever doing it. So there's definitely some things we could improve on, some things we did great on in there. We haven't uploaded the videos yet, just because that just happened this past weekend. So we're still collecting all the footage and everything, and then we're going to be editing it so that way we can get it uploaded. As you saw, like a code opening and the intro with the Outer Rim Praxeum lightsabers flying around.
Okay. John Randall comments, Sith safety cones. Awesome. Okay. Legatus asks, when you do such fights in the public, do you need to get a permit?
No. That's one of the things that the con approves is, hey, can we do a lightsaber fight? Yes. All right, we're going to do a lightsaber fight. So the other times we've done it in public is usually at a park, and we've never had to get a permit to fight in the park. We've actually been hired on, I'm going to say hired on in quotes, because they gave us a donation towards our charity to do an act for them twice now. So the park knows we are there. They've definitely enjoyed us being there, because we're usually there late in the evenings. So there's still like a presence at the park when it gets a little bit darker and everything. So they've definitely appreciated that. So we are cautious on where we do duels, though, because at events, at conventions and everything, we're not going to go into the vendor area right between the aisles and start dueling where everyone's walking and everything like that. We do take safety serious. So
Okay.
we are cautious of where we do our duels, though.
Okay. Lenrod says, dual wield. Oh, yeah.
Yep. We do teach Jarkai, which is the dual wielding, and the lightsaber staff, the double bladed. My favorite's the staff.
And that
Darth Maul.
And that comes out to the next Derek Clark's question. What kind of rule set do you have for Jakai dual wielding? Who has access to it, and when is it permitted for use?
Definitely a great question. With our system, you do have to be considered an advanced student. For us, that's rank 4 and 5. Just because at ranks 1, 2, and 3, you're learning the different forms. At rank 4 and 5, you're definitely learning how to take them to the maximum extent of what they can do. So with dual wielding, each blade needs to be in a different form. So as you saw, Darth Kurakami, he had a Makashi 2 with pointing straight up and down, very fencing-like. And then he had a reverse grip in Makashi 6, which is a little bit more defensive purposes there. You do have to switch using both hands while you're fighting and defending. If you're only using one blade, what's the point of taking two? In our system, Jedis and the Sith can have Jarkai, so it's not restricted to only one person can get it or only two people can get it. We do allow that flexibility. Same thing with staff. You do have to alternate the strike, just because what's the point of having two blades if you're only going to use one blade? So there are some more restrictions. I would say the exotic users, the staff and the Jarkai, are a bit more on the disadvantage because our system is geared towards the single blade just because everyone uses the single blade. So if you pick up an exotic, you are picking up a slight disadvantage because it has its own advantages as well. Good question.
Legata says, so that force move was like a timeout to give both a chance to catch a second breath?
Yes, the force barrier, that's the personal shield that Lady Malice threw onto Darth Karakami to get him to slow down. As you saw, he's quite quick, and he needed to slow down a little bit. And like you said, it was quite hot that day, so it was a good time to catch your breath as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was slow. He himself seemed to be getting a little winded.
As you saw, once he was dead, he went straight for the shade. He was just like, I need a breather.
Daryl Brewer asks, I was a bit late, so I apologize if this was asked and answered, but do you allow EU weapons like the saber whip?
Currently, we don't allow the saber whip. We have talked about allowing it for an intro or a very specific performance bit, but it's hard to control a whip without potentially hurting someone. So we haven't really allowed that. I think there was one company that did sell a light whip, but I'm not sure if it's made for saber combat. There's also the tonfas where, it's kind of like a police billy club with a blade on one end. We haven't done that just because we haven't had an opportunity to play with them yet. It's one of those, someone needs to invest in it to see how to make it work in the system. Saber pike we haven't allowed either, just because it's going to be tricky to have a rule set for that where you shouldn't be blocking with the hilt. So how do you block with the blade without it turning into another version of the lightsaber staff? So
Okay.
Other than the staff and the dual wielding, we haven't opened it up to anything else just yet. But we are interested in them.
Okay. All right. This is the last comment and question. David Lester asks, as a con vendor, I would welcome a duel in front of my space.
For that, you'll need to talk to the con coordinator, because to do that, we would have to block off the aisle, and the aisle does need to be big enough for us to move around. As you saw, we do tend to be around a lot. But not to say it hasn't happened. At Waynesburg, we were in front of some vendors, and so if you watch our Waynesburg blade matches, you'll see vendors behind us, and there's vendors behind the camera person. At West Virginia PopCon, we were also near vendors as well, just off to the side of some of them. So it does happen, but it comes down to where the con has space and allows us to duel.
Okay. All right. And this is the final question. Do you find it easier, harder to teach lightsaber styles to one who has already? Let me rephrase this. Do you find it easier, harder to teach lightsaber styles to one who already has experience with martial arts? Do you get many such students wanting to join? Good question.
Yeah, definitely a good question. Yes and no. Some of it depends on if they're willing to come in knowing that they're learning a new martial art. Some people come in and they're wanting to take their experience and then apply it. And it doesn't always mesh up well, because sword fighting and a martial art, the big difference is they have a edge tip. A lightsaber doesn't have an edge. It's nice and round. So some people do have trouble adapting over to it. But on the flip side, we've had members that have had martial art background that are familiar with the discipline and everything, and that is what they apply. They go, hey, I am learning a different martial art. So when they're coming in open-minded and knowing, hey, it's going to take discipline, it's going to take practice, they do really well. So a lot of it does come down to what's your mindset when you join. If you're thinking, oh, hey, I've done jiu-jitsu, I've done taekwondo, I've done kung fu, this is going to be simple, you're going to have a harder time because you didn't come in expecting it to be different. But if you come in going, hey, this is a new martial art, you're going to probably progress a lot faster because you've had a lot of the foundation of the discipline and everything already kind of built into you. Okay. So we definitely welcome martial art users to come and join. It's always fun anyway, because I mean, you're swinging a glowing lightsaber. What's not fun about that? So,
do you have like martial arts experience, or your wife?
I took karate back in like 6th grade, so I wouldn't really say I had any martial art experience. My wife had some ROTC background when she was in college, so she had a little bit of the discipline of like, okay, I need to be open to receiving instructions, need to be able to listen to the higher ups. Otherwise, she didn't have any martial art background.
Okay.
So we do have a couple members that have had martial background, but most of our members don't have any martial background.
Okay. All right. This was great. Guys, you had some outstanding questions out there.
Yeah, exactly. Great questions.
Great questions. And I thought this was really good. Love the videos.
Thank you. We got plenty more on our YouTube and our Facebook.
Let's see. And there, Legatus Legionii is... there is the link for more of the awesome fights.
Yeah, he's on top of the questions and everything.
Oh yeah, he's on top of everything. He is the first one, first in, last out, ready to go. So yes, please visit to Outer Rim Praxeum, and take care of Pop Culture Creator. So this was great.
This was a lot of fun.
Yes, I enjoyed it. We'll have to have you on again, and this time bring your wife so we can get dual perspectives.
I'll let her know.
Yeah. Sounds like it's a combination of what you guys do is a combination of wrestling, jousting, Star Wars fighting, and trash talking. I love the trash talk.
Yeah.
I love the trash talking. And she can definitely trash talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so stick around after the chat. We'll wind down. So, guys, this was a great chat. Thank you again for your amazing questions and your comments. And let's do some show notes. We'll do it without the other stuff with show notes. That's for Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, you don't want to. This Saturday, I'm going to be spending I'll be with my. Lenrod says, "I bet you'd be a big hit at MGC, wherever that's at." No, John, no, that's for Saturday or Sunday. This Saturday, I'm going to be with our granddaughter. Celebrating her 6th birthday, so we will not have a Just Cuz on Saturday, but do not fret, we will have a Just Cuz on Sunday. This time, this will not change. It will be Sunday. Just because on Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern. On the 7th, this coming Wednesday, we're going to have Jessica White, a romantic fantasy author. She'll be on talking about her books. On the 14th, we're going to have Baron Orman Tag come on, talk about his channel and what's he been up to. On the 28th, we're going to have Christina Hoffman. She is a comic artist. And on the 28th, we're going to have Yawata, another artist. So September is going to be busy. And, of course, the other Just Causes will be either on Saturday or Sunday, depending on schedules. So it's going to be a great month of September and lots of fun. Oop, Legatus, I guess you're in charge on Sunday. You have the power. So that is the show notes. Sans Pudgy song in the other thing. So let me thank everybody who was here and made this chat wonderful. Of course, General Ottenkal for coming on and telling us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Talking about lightsaber fighting, and our awesome wrench team, Legatus Legionii, him with the insightful questions. And first in, last out, we had Lenrod, we had Renier, who was lurking, we had Anti-Derivative Jill, and please subscribe to Jill's channel. Jill, put your channel out there, please. She does a lot of good reviews. They're reviewing the Star Trek, the original series, and doing some other stuff on Friday. And we have, of course,
Oh, I think we lost King Dolphin. Instead of I am the Senate, I am the host.
yeah, I'm there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah. That was creepy. I'm over there getting ready to say goodbye to Snort, and the computer just died on me. I mean, just went totally black. So let me. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Well, Snort is gone. So everybody, Snortopopus was here. We had Tyron Beard come over. Glad you are here finally. Hope you're enjoying Texas. We had John Rendo here as our wrench, and keeping the wrenches all together and keeping me all together. My other half are Wrench Wench and Lady Sandra. Love you, baby. And then the chatters, the ones we entertain and Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. We had Pudgy Hedgehog. We had Matt G. We had Pierre Kelly. We had Maddie's Daddy. We had the Pop Culture Curator. We had Daryl Brewer. We had Wayside Iguana, David Lester, James Caserta, Phantom Outsider, and Derek Clark. Please remember, if this is your first time here, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and get more of this good stuff that we have out there. I will see you on, David Lester says the Praxeum has taken over. Sith Sandra has taken down Padawan Raymond. Oh, ow. Guys, let's see. We had Mirror Sith Pudgy strikes again for the first time. Ooh. Don't, no. We do not want to see him here. Look, there you see him in the corner. Mirror Pudgy. Bad things happen in the Mirror universe. Guys, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And again, if you know people that you want to see on here, let me know, and also send out our email address so that people can reach out to me and we could set up interviews and we get more good stuff like this. And again, General, please come on by again, update us on what's going on, and let us meet your Lady Malice.
Yeah.
So, okay. And everybody, you have a good night, and see you on Sunday.
May the force be with you.
And let's continue to make some waves.
This segment is brought to you by the Dolphin Board